Hello everyone, welcome to Chocolo's second premiere. It's another tier list, so I must thank Alan Lockhart yet again for suggesting this idea in the first place. It's a great idea, lovely entertaining videos I think, and I enjoy doing them as well, and hopefully you enjoy watching them as well. Yeah, this time I should be in the chat with you, fingers crossed, yeah, so hello to myself and to everyone else. Yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this one. This one's basically, yeah, Cadbury Heroes TierMaker. So yeah, what is TierMaker, so as you don't know? Well, basically, essentially it's ranking certain things, really, putting them in tiers, really, or ranking essentially. So well, yeah, an example in this case is basically, yeah, we've got 5 tiers here. So I've done it sort of a bit overlap, and yeah, but those who watched the previous 2 for Cadbury's Roses and Quality Street will know what it's about. But basically we drag yeah, just drag one of the chocks and put it in one of the rows, basically. So it's a great choc, wouldn't be Heroes without it. Does the job, needs improvement, or get it out. There we go, get it out. Whisper probably won't be get it out, but you never know. So that's the gist of what they are, basically. Yeah, so I just drag and drop them and discuss it along the way, really. So yeah, obviously it's from a website called TierMaker.com. You can go there, do your own thing. You have to upload your own images generally, but you could probably find the one I've made here and do your own. I think that's how it works. But you can find other ones that other people have done. Yeah, but you just have to make your own images if you're doing your own one, and you can use like settings buttons. You can change things, change the colours of these and what they say. Like I wrote great choc and things like this. You can just have the default ones, which are letters like S, A, B, C, D, and E, I think, or just just S to D, I think. Yeah, but you can have as many columns, rows as you want. Yes, not columns, but rows. Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. Right, so yeah, I think we should get on with it, really. Yeah, so hopefully you know the drill. I've also, probably the eagle-eyed among you will have seen that I've also included sort of like heroes past and present. Yeah, so we've basically got some of the ones that are in the past, like Dream here and Fuse and stuff like that. So we're going to sort of, after we've done the main ones that are in there at the moment, we're going to see how they would fare. I mean, obviously, yeah, I mean, it's the context is slightly different, but the results should be the same. So get it out will still mean, yeah, we don't want it back, basically, stuff like that, if that is the case. Yeah, okay. Well, without further ado, let's get on with it then. We've got the first one, Cadbury's Whisper. Look at this. Well, I mean, Cadbury's Whisper is a staple, isn't it, really? It's this is like the sort of mini Whisper Bite version, really. So it's like so it isn't really a bit of Whisper as such. It's like a mini cube, or sort of cube of Whisper, really. Now I feel like Cadbury's Whisper, one of my favourite chocolate bars, lovely velvety aerated chocolate, really smooth and velvety. It's lovely chocolate, actually lovely. But are these Whisper Bite versions, there's something not quite right about them. I don't know what it is. No, it's because they're coated in something so they don't stick together when in a pack or something, even though they are individually wrapped. I'm not sure, but they're still really nice. I don't think I don't think they should be got rid of by any means. Now, would it be Heroes without them? Well, they're a bit of a funny one, this one, because what is Heroes really? I mean, it's a Cadbury's celebration, I guess. I don't really know. It doesn't feel as strong a brand as Quality Street or Roses or something like that, where you think, well, the Quality Street without the purple one, whatever, wouldn't be Rose without it, So, yeah. I'm not sure really what to make of that one. I don't know really whether it would be Heroes without it. I don't know if it's that strong. I mean, Whisper is a quality Cadbury product, but I'm not sure if it's the Cadbury's product. I don't know. No, it's definitely better than does the job. I think it's a great chocolate, really. I think there we go. I mean, well, but is it just a standard affair? Is it one where really it kind of just does what it does? You know what I mean? Is does the job really? I think it's somewhere in between does the job and great. I think an actual Whisper is a great choc. I think these Whisper Bites, I don't know, there's something not quite great about them, really. I don't know. I think it's a difficult one, this one, because I feel these rows are a bit difficult to sort of place Cadbury's Heroes products in, because it's I'm trying to keep it consistent, of course, but I think it is a difficult one. I feel like it might be more suitable really to have the A, B, C, D sort of rankings or whatever. Difficult one to say, because as I said, I don't think it's quite a product that suits them as well. But let me know what you think, as I say, probably in the chat. I'm not sure, but I will go with this one. I think, I think we will do, because I think it's kind of got its uses, hasn't it? It proves a point really as well. So, yeah. I don't know if maybe wouldn't be. I don't know. I think you could probably say, because they're all Cadbury's, you could probably say all of these wouldn't be Heroes without it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna say it is a great choc. I think it is really nice. I think it's I think it's in proportion to what's in the set as well. I think it's probably I think the Cadbury Whisper is a great chocolate bar anyway, but I think the Whisper bar just something not quite right about it. I don't know. It's just I think it's just because there's too much maybe surface area on the edge of it or something. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not quite as good a representation of the bar as the actual bar is, which which might go without saying, but hopefully you know what I mean. So there we go. Yeah, so still a good one, and I think it's definitely one of the better ones in Heroes as well. Miniature Heroes as it used to be when I was younger. Right, so the Cadbury Caramel, or just is it demo of caramel nowadays? I think it is. I'm not sure if this picture actually is, but yeah, it's a bit of a scrunched up picture. Sorry that some of these pictures are a bit terrible. I had to basically get them off the internet and then crop them and move them and cut them out of images and things like this. So some of them might not be perfect, but hopefully you get the gist. So this one, again, I think this is another one. I think it is a nice one. This one actually, I think I think it's one of those where again, I think this is probably one where it wouldn't be Heroes without it, because I think it just adds something a bit special. It's only caramel and everything, but I think it's just something I don't know. Maybe would it be as well? Yeah, I thought about it though. Would it really? Could you really? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a nice caramel chocolate. I think Heroes need a caramel to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. But if it wasn't there, would you think it's not Heroes? And I'm not sure actually. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. So I think it's probably again a difficult one, because I feel like this probably should be somewhere between Great Choc and Does the Job. That isn't just wouldn't be Heroes without it really with these. But I think it is. I think it is a nice one. I think it is a nice one. But then is it just the fact that it's just doing the does the job part, you know what I mean? So difficult one, this one, but I think basically for Great Choc in this one, it's one that just works well in the set. It doesn't necessarily, it's one not like the best chocolate ever, whatever. But in the set, it's a go-to one. I think is the gist of how we'll treat this. So I think it is a Great Choc, to be honest with you. It is a Great Choc. So there we go. Now talking about jumping from one one thing to another, we've got the Eclair now. I mean, this one, I don't know what this is. I've always said this. As soon as it's in there, I don't know what this is in there. Eclairs, Cadbury's do Eclairs, but you rarely see them. I've only seen them once, I think, and that was in not a random supermarket, but I think they don't sell them in the supermarkets I go to. It's just basically Eclair. It's like a sort of chewy caramel sort of toffee, and with a bit of chocolate on the inside, and it's just not nice at all. And they don't suit the product. They're in this weird wrapper as well. They're sort of lozenge shaped as well. They don't suit the product whatsoever. They really don't. They're so out of place really. And I don't think they're a Cadbury staple at all. So they don't taste great. They don't really synonymous with Cadbury whatsoever. I don't think anyone wanted them in this set. If you're going to get chewy caramels in there, there's better ones. I don't think Cadbury's do many chewy caramels really, but obviously they could just grab the one from Roses. No, I don't think I'd be cheating. I don't think they could really do that. But no, it's just terrible, this one. I mean, it's just an awful one. It's just not very nice. It's not very interesting. It's boring every way. It's just a chewy. Yeah, it's not horrible or disgusting or anything, but there's so many better Cadbury's products they could have in here. So many more famous ones. Anything other than perhaps an Oreo one. Just anything else would be good. I just don't know why it's in here at all. Just get it out. I mean, honestly, get it out. Yeah. And speaking of which, getting it out. Well, I mean the fudge as well. I mean, honestly, I mean, this one is in all. Well, I don't say all Cadbury's, not many of them, I guess. Roses as well have a fudge one in. It's just a terrible one in that one as well. The fudge is the actual bar itself. It's very cheap. When I was young, it's 10p. I think it might be 15, 20p now. 20p probably, maybe more, who knows, but like a cheap, very small, so about that long bar, very thin as well, quite thin, just cheap bar, it's just one of those really cheap ones, like like a Freddo the Frog or something, just a really cheap bit of chocolate, you know what I mean? And why it's in this selection, why it's in, and well, it's a slight difference in Roses actually. I think it's a slightly better version of it, but it's still not that much different. But again, why this one's in, and there's so many better Cadbury's products. What could you have? I mean, even products they've actually discontinued are better than this one. I don't even know why they've done that. So there's so many better things that they could bring back and put in, and so many better things that exist. I mean, anything really. Anything. Even a small curly whirly would probably be better. Actually, I think. And in fact, that would be better than this and the Eclair. It would cover. In fact, that would be the Eclair equivalent, wouldn't it? A chewy little mini curly whirly. I mean, it's still not brilliant, and it's not. but it's certainly better than the Eclair. That's what they should have. A mini curly whirly in here, but of course they won't do that because you have to make it specifically for this. Even though some of these are specific, you would say, but even so, it's something that they don't do at all and be a bit more complicated. But that's definitely what, that would be something interesting, and I could live with that. It wouldn't be my favourite one in the set, but I could live with it. I'd probably, and curly whirlies, one of those where you have to have them, not too bad. But anyway, yeah, I think that's why I would have it if I was going to have something like that. But even then, there's still lots better things. All sorts of better things, some of which we'll come to down here, that could still be in there, but also things have discontinued and all sorts. So it's another get it out. Just get it out. You know what I mean? Honestly, it just shouldn't be in there. Shouldn't be in any set. That one. It's a really poor chocolate. I don't think anyone particularly loves it. And even when I was a kid, I didn't really like it. I only had it because it was cheap. You know what I mean? Because it only about 10p on me or something. Just poor. No, the demo, yes, not demo, but Crunchy Bits anyway. I think it used to be Crunchy Bites, I think, when it first came, and then it went out and then came back in as Crunchy Bits, I think. I mean, well, this one actually, I don't mind crunchies. I think they would probably be almost does the job if it was actually a crunchy. The bite is a bit better, or bits rather, because it's basically like a block of chocolate, possibly dairy milk, I'm not sure, but just with bits of crunchy in there, which is a honeycomb chew, sort of, basically. You usually get it crunchy like a Cadbury's bar, which is honeycomb covered in a chocolate. It's not dairy milk, but it's a Cadbury's chocolate, and they're not bad. They're not bad actually, but I feel like I was a bit disappointed with them. I don't think they're quite as good as you'd hope. I don't know. They're not bad. I don't think they're quite. I think these are ones where they're not quite a great chocolate. I think they are more a does the job one, really. I think if it's difficult really, as I say, because I think most of these Cadbury ones will probably be between does the job and great choc, really. I don't think there's any that are going to blow your socks off generally. But as I say, I think in the context of the set and things, I think Whisper, as I said, the Whisper Bite is not as good as the real one, but the Cadbury's Caramel is nice as well. I think the Crunchy Bites bits though, it is nice. I just think when I last had it just wasn't quite as good as I'd hoped. But honestly, it's one of my best ones because I do like sort of crunchy bits, in my chocolate. So there we go, and that does hit the nail on the head. It's just something that wasn't quite right about it. I mean, I could be wrong now. I might one where if I have it again, I'll probably throw it back up into the great choc one. But I think it's not bad. I think it's a good. I'm glad it's in there basically. But I just remember being a bit disappointed when I had it last time. So there we go. Well, Cadbury staples. Well, I think we've definitely got one here, haven't we? Really, it's the Cadbury's Dairy Milk here. And now I did say in the Roses one, and I think I had a similar affair with the Choc Block or whatever it was in Quad Street. That it was basically a bit of a palate cleanser between chocolates. I'm not quite so sure it works like that in this one because I think the chocolates are all quite. None of them are particularly strong flavoured. They are flavours, but not sort of strong ones like in Roses and things like where you got the strawberry dream and the orange cream and stuff like that have quite distinct tastes and things like this, and sometimes you just want something normal. I think there are relatively normal chocolates in this one, relatively. Nonetheless, it could act as a bit of a palate cleanser between them. So so it does have that actually. So, but just not quite as much as it does in Heroes and as the Choc Block does in Quality Street. But I definitely think this one, I think it goes without saying really that this one it has to be in this product. I think it wouldn't be right if it didn't have it in it, and it is a great try. I love the solidness of it. Sometimes dairy milk can be quite soft, but in these little blocks, I don't know, there's definitely a bite to them, and I like that. I do like that bite. I think we're discussing it today in the Discord chat. I think Scotty and Andrew Winton about just having a bit of a snap to a chocolate, and I do like that. I mean, Cadbury's dairy milk sometimes doesn't have it on in some instances. Their Easter eggs with dairy milk chocolate are very soft. It's a bit too thin, but this block here, it just works really well, and I definitely think it wouldn't be Heroes without it. I think it has to have that in it. I think it's not to say that it would be terrible without it, but it wouldn't be Heroes without that chocolate in there. You could argue, as I say, I did put it as a great choc in my other tier list videos, a video for Roses, I think, and it is a great choc, but I think in this case, it definitely isn't a staple for Roses, but it's definitely a staple for this product. And I think it definitely wouldn't be Heroes without it. It has to be in there. Has to be in there. Now, Dinky Decker here. Now, this one's a special one that's, I think they bring it out separately for in a pack as well, actually. And double decker, for those you don't know, or decker double if you turn it upside down, which is my technique. It's basically like a sort of, I think it's got some, it's like a Rice Krispie piece bottom, I think, or covered in chocolate, and a nougat top, or the other way around. I'm not quite sure which way it is now. I think it might be nougat bottom and crispy top, but as I say, it depends which way you have it as well, decker double or double decker. The dinky deckers are very small versions of these, and you'd think they wouldn't work really, being a bit too small. The double decker is a bar, one of the bars that's, it probably has shrunk a bit, but it is still quite a big chunky bar actually. It's still got a lot of substance to it, but well, how long that'll last for, I don't know. I'll see. The dinky deckers are clearly an example of it not being shrunk. But yeah, these ones I don't mind them, and I think and when you double them up as well, they actually taste really nice. You have two at once. Now, of course, you might have the old problem, the distribution problem here, where you get 3 in the box or something of Heroes, depending on what size you get. In which case, it's a bit of a pain. But they're not bad at all, actually. These ones, not bad at all. I think when I had them recently, I was a bit. They weren't quite as nice as I remember them being. A bit like the Crunchy Bits ones. I think we probably know where this is going to go. But I say you eat them 2 at once for sure. It's definitely the way forward. 2 at once with this one. Very nice, very tasty. Yeah, like them a lot. There's definitely something about them, even though they're small and they're not quite really like a double decker. There's something. Yeah, they work, and I do like them. I say I don't think they're quite as good as I remember when I had them, but I still like them a lot. But eat them doubled up, 2 at once. A double decker or double decker double. Yeah, so it does the job for sure. I mean, you could all, yeah, I don't think it would be Heroes without it. I don't quite think it's as great as the other ones. Maybe, not bad though, not bad. But yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, no, cabbage twirl as well. Yeah, so basically, well, those I'm sure you'll know what this is, but it's a 2-fingered bar. Did a couple of reviews of some recently of Australian versions of twirl, mint twirl and caramel. Two different ones there, 2 separate ones, special editions of them. And the twirl generally is a 2-fingered bar, and with like a sort of swirly layers, sort of like dried layers of chocolate, I guess you'd say, or folded chocolate. Very nice, a bit like similar to a flake, but not quite the same. But then it's enrobed in chocolate as well. Lovely bar actually. Definitely one that's, I think, punches above its weight. It's better than some of its parts really. Been many 2-finger bars in the past that Cadbury's have done. I think the one that I missed was the Spira, which was a bit more solid chocolate with just with holes in it really. But it was really nice. I think this. Don't know why it's called spiral. I think it was spiraled on the outside or something. It was covered in chocolate as well, as I say, or something weird like that. I'm not sure, but you could use it as a straw as well. Perfect straw chocolate. Had a hole all the way through it, or 3 holes really. Really nice. But anyway, digressing. Yeah, with cabbage twirl, I think it's really nice. Actually, there's something about this one, especially these mini ones, because you can just pop them in your mouth and they're very easy to eat. They don't crumble everywhere. Something really tasty about them. I think these are really nice. Actually, really a bit undervalued, I'd say. I do like them. I do like them a lot, and I think these ones are actually. Yeah, I don't think it would. It's basically, I don't think it needs to be in Heroes. It's not. Again, it's not one of those would be Heroes. Would it be Heroes without them? But I definitely think it's a great one, and I do think that goes to the top. It's just something about it. I mean, again, in context of the selection as well. I mean, it's outside of the selection. Hard to say whether you'd really, give it like a 5 out of 5 or whatever. But it'd definitely be up there, and it's definitely one of the best ones in the set. And I do think it's a great choc. I do think all 3 of the top are great chocs. I mean, it's swings and roundabouts in some cases. I say the Whisper one slightly disappointing in this form, I believe. I think it just doesn't quite work as well in this bite form, this small segment form, but as a regular bar, because I think it's too much edged chocolate, not enough bubbles. But yeah, but even so, still a great choc. And but yeah, the twirl definitely up there. I really like it. Really nice, lovely, crumbly, velvety texture. It's lovely. It's lovely, and it's nice in this little bite-sized form as well. So yeah, so there we go. Not bad. Yeah, so got the last one here. Now it's is it the Scream Egg or something? What's it called? Scream Egg or Twisted, Cream Egg Twisted or something like that. I think it was. They released this in a bar originally, a separate bar, and then it no one really. Well, I guess there was a bit of a cream eggs basically are really once a year thing. You get a cabbage cream egg, comes out as an egg filled with fondant, liquid sugar fondant, unless you get the mini ones, which is solid for some stupid reason. And it's 2 colours. Looks like an egg basically. There's like white and yellow. Mixed together to make it look like an egg. And it's convincing actually, it does look good. But he bought like they did a Dairy Milk Twisted, I think it was, or just I don't know, the Twisted bar. I don't know, it just was a bit uninspiring really, because I think it lost its it wasn't as exciting as the cream egg, and it just lost its it just it had nothing about it, you know what I mean? And and I think they've discontinued it now actually. And it just wasn't interesting, you know. The chocolate wasn't dairy milk, and it just wasn't. Yeah, it just didn't. Didn't have the novelty factor that the eggs have and stuff like that. I don't know. It just didn't work, and that's basically the case for these ones as well. They don't even look that nice. They got like a sort of weird, that weird honey things you have where it drips honey off. I don't know. It's like got sort of two stripes on it, whatever. The actual chocolate looks a bit like that. The segment, and again, it's just got cream egg bits, cream egg filling in it. It just doesn't really taste that great. You know what I mean? I think, the chocolate's not great on it, and it's not the novelty of the cream egg. It's not egg shaped. If it was like if it was a mini cream egg, then it might be even better. But then they wouldn't do that because it's not Easter all year round. And then even if they did, the fact the mini cream eggs are not very good because the cream, the fondant centre is solid in it as well, so it wouldn't be any good anyway. But that if it was a good quality mini cream egg, then yeah, maybe it would work. But then, as I say, they wouldn't do it because it's not Easter all year round and stuff like that. So yeah, unless they did it as a limited one for Easter, but again, that's digressing. The reasons they probably wouldn't do that as well. But yeah, so it's very disappointing, this one, and to the point where it's borderline get it out really. I don't know whether you could say needs improvement. I think the problem with needs improvement is the whole product needs improvement really. I think it's the cream egg itself. It's just it's okay, but it's other than the novelty. I know Mick in the comments was saying how he loved it, but bought about 48 of them or something. Don't know how he's going to eat all those, but yeah, well, good luck to him. Yes, I'm sure he managed it. He seems to love them, so yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he would really like this actually. Yeah, but I just think generally, it's just I don't know. I feel like there's something not quite. I think I'm going to give it the benefit. I think Get It Out was probably very close to Getting Out. It's definitely my third least favourite. But I'm going to say it needs improvement. I think just cover it in dairy milk, something like that. Improve the shape of it. I don't know. Just improve it somehow, or just get rid of it. If it's going to stay the same, it needs to get out, I think. But just make it dairy milk. Just cover it in dairy milk chocolate, and I think that would sort it. Definitely give it something. A bit more oomph. A bit more oomph for sure. Yeah. Needs to. Needs to improve that. I mean, as I say, or Get It Out. If we don't improve it, then if we come to this in a year's time, whenever, and it's still there and hasn't changed, it's a Get It Out for sure. It's definitely on the cusp of being Get It Out. But we'll give it the benefit of the doubt because it could be improved by being covered in dairy milk. There we go. Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah, now we're on to the discontinued line, and there's quite a lot here actually, isn't there? There's almost as many discontinued from it than there is actually in it. So how many? 8 is there? Yeah, 8. There's only 9 in the whole thing, so yeah, there's been quite a bit of turnaround in this set. Yeah, so I think start with the dream. Why not start with the dream? Living the dream. Well, this one has been basically Cadbury cancelled the dream as a whole. I think he took it out of this set first and then cancelled it, or maybe did it both at the same time. I'm not too sure. It was Cadbury's it was their white chocolate, their flagship white chocolate. Not been out for a long time. And to be honest with you, I never really had it because the white chocolate, I don't mind, but it's not top of my list of things I white chocolate. I mean, nowadays it might be slightly different. I do love Nestle Milky Bar. And Terry's white chocolate orange is superb. Literally just one of the best things you'll ever taste. Cadbury's Dream, you know what I mean? It's like it's in Cadbury's Dream, yeah, it's basically Cadbury's white chocolate really, and it's it's not quite got the prestige of dairy milk, but I think after the event, after it got cancelled, it definitely did get a lot of support and people wanting it back and things, and I think they're still around in Australia and they haven't brought it back. They brought back Cadbury's White for some reason. I don't get why they've done that. Why they've not just brought back Cadbury's Dream? It was a lovely name, it looked good, it was a good brand. And Cadbury's White, it just doesn't look good. It looks a bit rubbish. It was very boring actually, and there's nothing about it. But not sure why they didn't bring back Dream. Maybe they didn't think it was a strong enough brand or whatever. But I think he could have done. I think they could have done, and it definitely should be in this set. I think because it's a white chocolate. Do you know what I mean? It's something different. I don't think any of the other selections have any white chocolate in them, and it's really odd that these have one white chocolate in them. None of the Quality Street. Roses, celebrations. None of that white chocolate in. I don't know why either, really. I mean, I know it probably isn't the most popular chocolate, but Milky Bar's been around for years. Why is that not in any of these selections? Very bizarre that one. I don't know if it could be in. Well, it could be something like in Quality Street, but again, I don't know Quality Street. I'm not sure. It's would a white chocolate suit that? I don't know, but anyway. I'm sure they could do some kind of selection anyway. Yeah, they don't necessarily do another selection, do they? But they should. But yeah, so a bit of a one with just a regular chocolates in. I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's there we are. But anyway, digressed a bit. But they should do that. I think that'd be a good idea. But yeah, so this one, well, I mean, as I say, I think that's the gist of it, and this is the place to have it, isn't it? And it is, I think, really being the flagship white chocolate. So you could include Cadbury's White. I mean, if Cadbury's White was in here, it might drop under needs improvement, or maybe does the job because it's the white chocolate one. But I think with this one, it wouldn't be Heroes without it. And I think, to be honest with you, I mean, having said that, Heroes is still about, and do we say that? I think really, obviously we're getting used to it now, but I think really Cadbury's flagship white chocolate, I think should be in there. That is the place to have it, is in this set. I must admit, it's not in there now, and you maybe you think, well, okay, not, some people don't miss white chocolate and things, but I think this is the place to have it. This is where you think, oh yeah, I'll try it. You know what I mean? You wouldn't normally buy a white chocolate bar, but in this case, you think, oh yes, I'll have it. I'll give it a go. I don't normally have it. This is where I want to try it, and this is where it should be, and that's precisely why it should be in here. And it just gives a bit of difference as well, and it's such a unique thing to have in here, white chocolate. None of the others, as I say, will have white chocolate, none of the other selections. It would really just give something a bit different, and especially when you've got rubbish like Eclairs in here and fudge. Get one of them out, you know what I mean? No need for them to be in there, no need at all. Yeah, honestly. Especially when you can have something like Dream, or even Cadbury's White. I mean, Cadbury's White, well, yeah, I mean, you could still have it in there, and it would be a white chocolate to have, I guess, wouldn't it? It would be nice to have it in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it does definitely. Yeah. Definitely does more than does the job. It wouldn't be Heroes without it, and I think it is a lesser product without that Cadbury's Dream in there for sure. Yeah, for sure. Right, now I've got another discontinued one. This is discontinued completely. Some of these are still around, but they're just not in there. In Cadbury's Heroes, but Dream isn't around at all. It's been completely discontinued. The same with Fuse. In fact, no, Fuse hasn't been discontinued. We still got the oh no, it has been discontinued. Yeah, the same with Fuse. Yeah, Fuse has been discontinued. Yes, I was about to say it hadn't. I was thinking of picnics. Yeah, basically it was a bit. Yeah, I can't. I mean, basically, I don't normally have ones with raisins in and peanuts and stuff like that at the time. Yeah, because it was just a bit. Yeah, I don't know. They were just not quite for me. So I never really had the Fuse much. I wasn't too bothered that it disappeared, I must say. So it's one of those really where I think it is a funny one. Now you got Fuse and Picnic in here. Both of them I'd say are very similar-ish. You know what I mean. They're sort of like the nutty ones basically. Lots of people do like Fuses and things. Now, as I say, I don't really remember them that well because I didn't really have them. I didn't eat them that much because I just wasn't into raisins and peanuts and things like that. It's one of those basically. Yeah. Basically, lots of sort of peanutty, raisiny type things going in there. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's just have a see what it actually was. Let's have a look. Did speak about in the comments what people were saying what it was. Yeah, let's see. Let's have a look. The original product was 70% a solid bar of milk chocolate, 30% nuts, peanuts, and raisins, crisp cereal, and fudge pieces suspended within it. Yeah. So what's kind of that one really? It had a bit of fudge in it as well as it says. So a bit different. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely. Definitely, as I say, it's not a million miles away from Picnic, really. As I say, it had fudge in it. I think for me, it's, I don't think it definitely, I think for me, it's not a great choc. It's just not one of those, hard to say, really, hard to say. I feel I probably would like it if I had it again. But I think, I think it does the job, basically. It's the sort of nutty, raisiny kind of one. And I think a lot of people, for them, it would probably be a great choc, I think. But I quite like the Dinky Deckers. I like the crunchy bits as well. So just being there doesn't really, it's just, I think for me it is probably a bit more that way inclined, just a bit more, let's say, does the job. But it's very nice, and, from what I've heard about it, it does sound, like a one I would actually appreciate more these days. But unfortunately at the time, it was just one I kind of tended to avoid, which I could have contributed it to being discontinued all around, I guess, because of that. They might have discontinued also because of the Picnic as well. I don't think they ever, I don't think the Picnic and the Fuse were at the same time. Let's just see here. Let's have a look. See if I can find. Let's have a look. Let's see. Whether did they share at the same time? Fuse was removed in the mid 2000s. It said. And Picnic removed in 2007. So they were quite close together. I don't know if they were in at the same time. I think it would have been wrong to have them in at the same time for sure. They're both too similar, really. Yeah. So I think for that reason, I'm discussing picnic as well. I'm going to stick it in the same place. I do quite like the picnic bites I had, and I think I did try picnic. I did like them actually. I think it was really well balanced actually. I'm not sure how what I'd think about the fuse, but the picnic, yeah, you just got the right amount of raisin sultanas, whatever it was, and all the other bits. You just got like one in that little sort of picnic bite here would be one raisin. It wouldn't be more than one. It'd just be one, and it would just be enough to give it that little fruity tartness. Just enough to not really make you think, oh, I'm eating loads of raisins. Maybe the fuse was a bit more raisiny, although it did say, 20% chocolate, didn't it? But yeah, I don't know. The picnic worked really well. I can't speak for the fuse, of course, but I think it would have been not too dissimilar. But the picnic was really good. Does the job for sure. Yeah. Okay, this one, nuts about caramel. This one, yes, this one was discontinued. I'd say when the Dream was discontinued now. Dream removed in 2008. It says. Yeah. So yeah, no, the nuts about caramel one. I don't remember this one being in it at all. Mid 2000s says it's removed. Okay, Cadbury's caramel with a hazelnut in the centre, basically. So very similar to sort of, the purple one or whatever, or the other one from Roses. What's it called now? Is it called? Yeah, just the purple, not called the purple one, is it? But nutting caramel, whatever it's called. Can't really call it that. Yeah, for me, I'm not a big fan of these ones where there's a caramel with a nut in. I prefer. I've always been one when I was young, used to spit the nut out, and these days a whole hazelnut. I don't mind chopped hazelnuts as much, but whole hazelnuts are just too much for me. I just don't think I could. It's just I just rather not have them. So for me, this one, I think, for me, I don't know. I think some people might, you could say it does the job, and I think if it was Roses or whatever, the purple one in Quality Street, things like well, the purple one is definitely a staple for Quality Street. I think for me, it's probably a does the job. But I think what with I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's not really any nutty ones in this one, but for me, I think if I was going to have nut ones in Heroes, I think I'd rather have the Fuse and the Picnic one. I think they just would sort of be that, fill that gap basically. You know what I mean. I think they would fit that gap. I think more than this one isn't really there. So for me, I think. Could easily say it does the job. I mean, but the thing is, you can only have so many of these in there, and I think for me that one would be one I'd think, well, I don't really want that one in there. It doesn't do it for me. You've got the caramel one in there. I don't really want. I don't want a hazelnut and caramel. I think that's more a Rose's thing. So I think for me, for that reason, I know some people would like it, but I think I think that was right to go. That is a get it out, that one. But yeah, I think Roses are where that belongs. Sort of hazelnut and caramel. I don't think Heroes is where it belongs. As I say, it's want something a bit easier to eat. Not one of these where, there's just unnecessary hazelnuts. Basically, yeah. It's just I don't know. It's just for me personally. I think, as I say, with Roses and with Quality Street, well, Roses actually, Quality Street was a staple, but Roses I did put it as a does the job. I think if memory serves me correctly. I didn't say get it out or needs improvement or anything like that, even though it's not one for me. But I think in this case, based on what Heroes is and based on what's already in there and based on what could be in there, things like this, I think it's the right decision to get that out. And I think I don't remember it being in there at all. It says moved mid 2000s, so it started in 1999. This set, by the way, it says on Wikipedia. 1999 September. Yeah. So time out. Well, what can we say about this one? I mean, what can we say about this one? This one was one of the best bars I think Cadbury did, really. And for something, they took it out of this, which was a crime, and they discontinued the bar, which they replaced with this Time Out wafer, something just this travesty of a chocolate bar, which tastes horrendous. It's just not very good at all. Well, it doesn't taste horrendous, but it's just rubbish. Pales in comparison to the actual proper Time Out. This was a lovely. It was basically sort of wafer with. I think it wasn't dairy milk. It was a very nice chocolate in between it, and sort of quite thick curls of chocolate in between this wafer, and covered in milk chocolate. And there's two fingers to it as well. And there was a Time Out chunky, which is all but been erased from history, and that was possibly the best chocolate bar ever. Although of course roasting spectacles and stuff like that, but yeah. But this one was gorgeous. I can't believe Cadbury discontinued it, and I can't believe they took it out of here, and then I can't believe they discontinued it. It's honestly one of the biggest crimes in the chocolate world, honestly. So you can tell it's definitely not does the job it needs to improve. Get it out. Now, would it be Heroes without it? I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I do. It's very tempting to put it in there because it is almost one of those where it really has been such a shame not to see. But I don't think it's really a Heroes staple. It is a Cadbury staple though. You know what I mean? It really needs to be back. It's almost a borderline one. It needs to be in Heroes, I think, but I don't think it's perhaps isn't Heroes without it. I think they're more for the Cadbury staples maybe. So I think for me this one, it's definitely a great choc. It needs to come back. It needs to come back into this set. And I couldn't. I mean, it wouldn't be a good world without the timer. That's the thing. It's not just Heroes. The world is a worse place because that bar does not exist anymore. Not just Heroes. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with it. And I think So you could argue it wouldn't be Heroes without it, but I think it's more than that, honestly. More than, in all seriousness. It's a crime that's gone, honestly. Crime. So it's a great choc. I don't think it's a Cadbury staple, so it's hard to say it wouldn't be Heroes without it. I'm not quite, I mean, Heroes isn't really that big a brand to have staples and such, but I think Cadbury's staple products as such, well, they're sort of very, very sort of specific, like Dairy Milk and Dream, white and milk chocolate. I think they're kind of ones you'd think, yes, okay, they should be in there, and then you can work around it. Timeout's close to, as I say, but but you could argue without a few of them really. But it is a really, really nice bar, and as I say, the world's definitely a worse place without it. So it needs to come back, and it needs to be back in this set. Yeah, but as I say, perhaps not quite. Wouldn't be Heroes without it, but it's definitely a worse set without it. That's for sure. Right, Toblerone. This is an odd one, isn't it? I don't even remember this one being in there until I saw it. But then, I remembered, It said added for Christmas 2013, 14 and 15, it says. Yes, this is an odd one, because I don't think it's made by Cadbury's, is it? So I don't know what was going on with this one. Bit of an odd one. Interesting. Yeah, is it chopped hazelnuts Toblerone? I think it roughly is, isn't it? Let's have a look. What does it say? Or is it almonds? What does it say? Nougat, almonds and honey. So yeah, it does say further down the page. So it's almonds basically, and sort of like a nougat thing. Yeah, I think this one is a bit like a Fuse and Picnic. It's just got something a bit about it. A bit interesting. I don't really think it belongs in here though. It's not a Cadbury's product. It's not a bad bar as such, but I just don't think it belongs in here. It's not because it's not very nice, it just doesn't belong in here. It's Cadbury's Heroes. It isn't a Cadbury's product. It's not terrible. It's quite nice to have the idea of a mini one, but it's just not suited to this selection at all. So I think it's kind of like an Alan Sugar Apprentice. With regret you're fired. I think it's with regret it's a get it out, that one. I think it was right to get rid of that. I just don't think it belongs in this set. There's other Cadbury's products that should be in there, that should exist before that sort of is in this set really. So I guess it was a limited edition thing, and it's interesting. It's interesting to have that in the product, but I don't think it really belongs in this set. Yeah, so for me that is a get it out, that one, but with regret. Looks like you need that, I've just noticed. Yes, now we've got this Dairy Milk Whole Nut. So this is, again, it's basically very similar to the Nuts About Caramel one. It's Dairy Milk with a whole nut in it. So it's, I think, when was this one in there? I don't quite remember this one. They've kind of brought this back out again now into like a mini set with Cadbury's Dairy Milk, Cadbury's Caramel, and Cadbury's Whole Nut, all in one set of these little mini versions of them. Where does it say it? Does it say it anywhere? Dairy Milk Whole Nuts, yeah. Added in 2002, removed in 2008, it says. Yeah, this one again, I think it's very similar to the Nuts About Caramel, really. I just don't think I really want this in this set for me, myself. For some people would like it, I think, and some people, will think it's, obviously love hazelnuts, they want that one in this set, but for me, I think it's just, I think Rose is where sort of this kind of one should be, a bit more, you could argue mature taste one. I'm not sure if that's really true. But yeah, something, I don't know, it's just not as easy to eat. I think it's faff around it. It's got stuff that not everyone likes. I mean, I guess the Fuse and a Picnic as well, but I don't know, they're a bit more interest, a bit more about those, I think, and a bit more interesting, a bit more something a bit more easy, about those, about eating them. Whereas I think this Dairy Milk Whole Nut, it's just a big nut inside some dairy milk. Not too bad really, but I think for me, I think it was right to get rid of that one, like it was Nuts About Caramel. Just for the reason where I just think that that having the nuts in there, I just don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think these ones are a bit more about easy eating ones, and you could argue maybe the Fuse and the Picnic don't fall into that as much. But then I don't know. I think that might be pushing it too far, really. But I could see that being said about them. But I think this one, the Dame Hole Nut, I think it's just one of those where it's a bit divisive. That's the thing. It's just too divisive. And again, I think when I was younger, the Picnic and Fuse would have been very divisive for me. But yeah. I don't think they're quite as bad as I used to think they were. But yeah, this you can't get around it. It's just a massive nut in the middle. You can't, and it does. If you don't like those, it really does ruin it for you. And yeah, and it's faff to get it out, and it splits, and it's just if you just don't like it. I'm not a big fan of those. I don't, chopped hazelnuts I can live with, but whole nuts I can't. So I just think it's too divisive, and there's no way around it. It is that, or it's nothing almost. You know what I mean? You have to spit it out, or yeah, it's just not. I don't know. I just feel like roses. If you're gonna have those, put them in roses. I just don't think they're right to be having in here. Right, so yes, Cadbury's Bourneville. So this one should never have been taken out either. I don't know why. I did in 2008. We moved in 2013, so it took a while to get in there. I think it was right to have this one in there. I think it's not many of them again of these chocolate sections have dark chocolates in. I think quite a have a few. There's a one in Cadbury's Roses. I'm not even sure if there's one in Cadbury's Roses now. I can't remember now. But yeah, maybe not sure. I don't think there is. But yeah, Quad has a couple. The Strawberry Dream and the Orange Cream. But other than that, there's not really any dark chocolates in these selections at all. Really, I'm not a massive dark chocolate person, especially when I was younger. But I still appreciated them. I remember Roses used to have Bourneville as well. And used to come in these little mini tabs, little flat rectangles, semi-flat, about half a centimetre thick or something, and you could you're like wrapped in a wrapper that went round like that, and then foil, so you could slide them out. Well, technically almost slide them out. I don't think you actually could, but technically could. I used to put them together, so you had like this sort of full bar of chocolate. Then you could eat them, and it was lovely actually. Yeah, lovely to do that, and it's just nice to have both of them. And then as I say, in this way you could have something a bit different, a bit more. I mean, Bournemouth's not an overly rich dark chocolate, but it's nice. You know what I mean? It's nice. And this is where you'd want it as well. You think, well, I don't really have Bourneville. I'm not really into dark chocolate generally, but I could just have one. You know what I mean? That's where this should be. So same for the Dream. It should be in here. It should be in here. And I think and again, it's not in there now. You could say, oh well, okay, Heroes has gone by without it, and it's not been a problem. But I do think it's a Cadbury's, very much a Cadbury staple product that's perfect for this, to be a staple in this product. Like Dairy Milk, like Dream, and for me that's why it's wouldn't be Heroes without it. It should be there, it should be there. It really should be there, and it's a shame it's gone, because I think you say you just want it, just want we could sample some Cadbury's Dream white chocolate, or could sample a dark chocolate right now, just as a palate cleanser between them both, because they're a bit different, a bit, and between, well, not them both, but other chocolates and things, or just something as a bit of a segue between chocolates, you know what I mean? Just as something a bit less sickly and just nice. And I'd say dark chocolate especially, it's definitely going to be a bit of a palate cleanser, isn't it? It's not going to be too sweet. I really think it should be in the selection. I really do. So I think they're the three for sure. Yeah, wouldn't be Heroes without them. I think because they are the sort of the key products, dark white and milk chocolate. And I think they should be there, and then the rest of it should be built around those, I think that's how it should be. Yeah, for sure. Also, we've got the Great Chocks as well, Whisper. Yes, well, I don't know if it's Dairy Milk Caramel, but Cadbury's Caramel at least. The Twirl and Time Out for sure needs to come back. The world, as I say, has not been right since it's been gone. Does the job as well. I think it's might be slightly harsh on some of these, but Crunchy Bits, Double Decker, Fuse, and Picnic, I think they're definitely ones that would definitely be perfectly fine in the set, if in some people's opinions even more than that. But needs improvement. The Cream Egg Twisted or whatever it is. It needs dairy milk on it, or it needs to go. So give it. I don't know if it's going to stay, but that's what needs to happen. Yeah, and they get it out. The Eclair's just not even worth spending my time on that. Just get it out. Fudge again, just get it out. Boring, rubbish, cheap. Not a good product anyway on its own. Why it's in here, I don't know. The Nuts About Caramel and the Dairy Milk Whole Nut. Yeah, just same reasons really. They are sort of nice Cadbury's products, but I think just having a whole hazelnut. In this selection, it's just not suited to it. I don't think it's just not an easy eat. It's not something that you could just pick and choose and think, oh, these are all just nice Cadbury's products. There's one if you think, oh, I just actively don't want to taste that one if you're not into that. I know there's some people don't like dark chocolate and white chocolate and things like that, but I think these ones are just, I don't know, they're just fiddly and not enjoyable. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you're not into that, and I just don't think this suits the selection, that sort of thing. As I say, as I've mentioned, Fuse and Pitney, I could almost argue that with them, but I think there's just something a bit more about them that makes them a bit more palatable. Yeah, just to try. You know what I mean? Yeah. So as I say, I used to avoid them a lot, but I think nowadays I would sample them more. Yeah. Because as I did have a review picnic, and they weren't too bad actually. They were very nice. I did enjoy them, and I think they were balanced very well. With that, as I said, sultanas I'm not a big fan of, but they've just balanced it perfectly, and the peanuts as well, really. So yeah, and the Toblerone, as I say, it's actually quite nice. It's not that it's not nice. It's just not a Cadbury's product. It just shouldn't be in this set. It was only there for a limited time over Christmas for 2 or 3 years. 3 years, I think. But even so, I don't know. It just doesn't belong, does it? It's not like a special. If you're gonna do like a special edition in there, I just feel like it probably be something else. It didn't feel special even when it was in there. And if you go, wow, Toblerone, that's special. Just like, oh right, okay, well fine, but it just doesn't belong in there. It's not suited. And yeah, it's not a bad product. It's got, as I say, chopped almonds in. It's chewy and things. It's something a bit different, but yeah, just didn't belong. I don't think didn't belong. Well, there we go. Yes, let me know what you think about that. Whether you agree or not, I'm sure we've been chatting about it in the comments. You probably already told me. Hopefully you enjoyed this. A bit different, as I say, but it's an interesting one. Let me know what you think about the ones that have been discontinued or kept or kicked out or both, and if you think they should be back in. Or maybe even ones that you should be back in that are still around other chocolate forms. Maybe you should have some mini buttons in there or something, or I don't know, some other Cadbury, or maybe even Cadbury's White. Maybe even put that in there, or other things. Yeah, let me know what you think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other Cadbury's products they could throw in, really. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, a Cadbury finger maybe. Who knows? But let me know. Let me know what you think. If you had any inspired visions of what should be in the future. Yeah, let me know. Okay, guys, I enjoyed that then, that tier list. Yeah, it's been, I'm sure it's been great to chat to you in the comments. It's been good fun doing this. So thanks again to Alan Lockhart for the idea in the first place. As I say, really appreciated. And yeah, thanks to all the members, Alan Lockhart included. Yes, Scotty, how many Artificioso? Noah. Oh, yes, and yes, and of course, well, I was also mentioned Alan as well. Yeah, so there we go. Already mentioned you 3 times, Alan. There we go. I mentioned you 3 times. Thanks very much. But thanks to everyone else for supporting the channel as well, and Rick, of course, for your super chats. Really, really appreciated. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for leaving comments. Thanks for watching the adverts, and just thanks for being there. Truly appreciated. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.